Hi, my name is Maya Woolley, and the craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor is that I saw a Republican.
Alright, so my name is Brock Willett. The craziest thing that happened to me was I came up here and I think it was like 2011 or 2012 to the U of M versus State game, and we ended up winning by a field goal, and it was crazy and the crowds went nuts. And then we came out of the stadium, everyone was kind of like raging and partying. I ended up at a frat house, and then like a monster truck pulled up, not like a big truck, but like an actual legit like energy drink monster truck. And the monster truck girls came out too, and they were throwing monsters out of the back of the truck. And it was crazy, and then the frat house just went berserk. It was, I don't remember the rest of the night. I woke up somewhere else.
I went to school, and then I was like in first grade at this time, and then I see a turtle walking weirdly, and then everyone just goes ballistic, real crazy. So yeah,
there's a bug. Hi, I'm Christiana. The craziest thing that's happened to me in Ann Arbor was when I was walking to class. This random guy just stopped his car in the middle of the street and started preaching about I don't even know what, but it's pretty odd, I'll tell you that.
Hi, my name is Ralph Katz, and I've lived in Ann Arbor since about 1969. And for some reason, I kept being called again and again and again for jury duty. So at one point, I was put on a murder trial, and I got seated on the jury, and I really didn't want to be there, so I got kicked off on a peremptory challenge, in part because of something I did. But I was just so happy. I got put on another trial that time, and it was fine. And 14 years later, I got called again. And they start interviewing. I get put in the box, and they start interviewing the jurors. And they say, juror number one, who are you? Where do you live? What do you do? Do you know these people? And they say, juror number two, and she says her name and where she lives. And I go, why do I know that? And then she says, and what do you do? And she tells her occupation, and she's self-employed. And I go, well, I know that name from that city, and she's self-employed. And why do I know that? And they say, what does your husband do? And she says, he was killed by a drunk driver. And I go, oh my God, it's the widow of the victim in that other trial. Oh, get me out of here. But they kicked her out, so I was good. That's the craziest thing that has ever happened to me in Ann Arbor.
Hi, I'm MS. What is the craziest thing that have happened to you in Ann Arbor? Last Sunday, because I watching the World Cup final season. Yeah, you know, so France win. Yay! It's a second win. I love that. So thanks a lot.
All right, my name is Tom. The craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor, I don't know. I'm getting yelled at by pedestrians in a vehicle is always a classic, especially cyclists. That's the best one. Yeah, that's about it.
Christopher Miller. I was walking home from work one day, or it was around 5:30. I was coming down Madison Ave. There's a barbecue place that I was passing right near Fingerly Lumber. I thought I saw a bee flying over my head, so I went up to swat it. I heard a crash. Some guy in a truck next to me yelled out, "What the heck was that?" And I looked out, and a drone had flown right over my head and crashed into the garage right next to the barbecue place. We all survived.
Stephen King. Right? So I was working. So I worked for DTE, and working out here, I was working for Mystic. So Mystic, you locate the underground gas lines. So anyway, so I was super lost. So I pulled over, got on looking at my print, looking down. So the supervisor pulls up like, "Hey man, are you sleeping?" I'm like, "No, I'm looking at my print." That's the craziest story.
I'm Kate, And the craziest thing that's happened to me in Ann Arbor is, I'd say, I was walking down, I think it was Liberty, and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Hi." I said, "Hello." They said, "Do you know me?" And I'm like, "I don't think I do." They said, "I'm your cousin." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, hi." And then my mom said, "Oh yeah, it's your cousin." And I'm like, "I don't know her."
40 years ago, during the short time we had the $5 pot law, a friend and I got pulled over near the Rock. We had a shopping bag full of weed. Cop gave us a $5 ticket, made us dump the pot out in the middle of the street. And then he took off. So we just went around the block and scooped it back up and went on our merry way. Ann Arbor.
Hi, my name is Andy Frankel, and this is...
Evan.
Evan what?
Evan Samuel Frankel.
Evan Samuel Frankel. And I think the craziest thing that's happened to me in Ann Arbor is moving here with this guy when he was 4 months old, and then having a baby sister 2 months ago. That's pretty crazy, but also fun.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Daly, and the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in Ann Arbor is I was at Top of the Park, and my sister had gotten me a Slurpee. So I was sitting down doing one of the activities, and all of a sudden this person walks up to me. And they start to stick their fingers in my drink, and then proceed to drink it and then walk away with it. It was one of the most strange experiences I had ever had.
Hi, my name is Viola, and the craziest thing that has happened to me in Ann Arbor is when I was at County Farm Park and did a 360 with my bike and ended up in the emergency room. I'm all fine now, but it was really, really weird.
So my name is Emily Mills, and the craziest thing that happened in Ann Arbor, I was at the People's Food Co-op, and there was two guys who were visibly stoned, trying to measure out turmeric, and the other guy looks at his friend and is like, "Knick-knack, paddywhack. What's a paddywhack?" And now we're really good friends and we hang out once a week, and that's the most Ann Arbor thing.
Hi, my name is Ralph Katz, and I've lived in Ann Arbor since 1969. And 2.5 years ago, we had the unfortunate situation that our house was broken into. But my wife, 2 days later, found her laptop on Craigslist. The guys who broke in had sold it to a store, and the store did everything right. I mean, they took the guy's driver's license, and the police said, "Go check it out and see if it's your serial number." So we went over there, and it was hers, and mine was on the shelf. And the two perps that broke into our house fingered each other and gotten sentenced to 3 to 15. But in the process, they had us give a victim statement. And I did my best. It was just really upsetting. And afterwards, the prosecutor comes up and thanks me for giving such a strong statement. And he says that his parents were from India, where the houses are sacred, and you honor someone who invites you into their house by taking off your shoes. And it's unthinkable that someone would rob someone's house, and his parents don't lock the door anymore. And and I said, "What did you say your last name was?" And he told me. And I said, "Really? Tell me, is your father an engineer?" And he said, "Yes, he is." "And did he used to work for Bechtel Corporation?" And he said, "Yes, he did." And then I said, "And his first name?" And I said his first name. And he said, "Yes, it is." And I said, I couldn't remember him. I remember his name, and it's been 30 years. And I couldn't remember what kind of karma we had, but it must not have been bad for his son to come and prosecute my perp 30 years later. So I said, "Good, you please tell him that I send my regards." Thank you.
Hi, I'm Claire, and my craziest story is the time that I was at Fuller Park Pool, and I was changing in the girls' locker room, and I saw a famous poet's butt.
Okay, my name is Yasmine, and the craziest thing that's happened to me is we were walking, and this one dude just approaches us and is like, "Hey, you have a really cool outfit to my friend, and can I take a picture for my student paper," or something like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm Maya, and the craziest thing I saw in Ann Arbor
or happened to me was I saw a bird in Kroger.
My name is Ines, and the craziest thing I know is important that I haven't seen. That really is possible. And everybody knows about all this stuff here. And we know the photos of everybody in this life. So everybody just knows the final. That's all final. All this about. We know the problem. Right now, we know everything about this life. It's always good.
My name is John Rasmussen. I came to Ann Arbor when my father was in graduate school back in the 1950s. I graduated from the University of Michigan Business School in '66, and I'm still here. I worked for the city for a while and worked for a bank and then started my own company. And we're now in Michigan and in Ohio, and I'm very glad to be here for Townie Day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lola.
Hi, my name is Jude.
And the craziest thing that happened to us in Ann Arbor is there was a buck that lived near our house, and every night it would come up to our window because we have a huge window in the front of our house, and he would stare at my dad when he was in the living room. And he would do it for a few minutes, then he would leave, and a few minutes later he would come back and stare.
I fell on my head on cement.
Hi, my name is Kevin Spangler, owner and operator of Boober Tours. I was homeless 2 years ago, living in the homeless shelter. But before that, I was in and out of jail, addicted to drugs and alcohol. I got my 5th DUI and 3rd resisting arrest, and I found I was having a son. So I made a commitment to never get in trouble again. When I got out of jail, I moved into the homeless shelter, saved up all my money working 4 jobs to get my first pedicab, and now I own 17 of them and create second chance jobs for people in recovery and working on a program for self-improvement to help people raise their vibration.
The craziest thing that ever happened to me in Ann Arbor is probably when I got free ice cream and then it fell on the ground.
Hey, I'm Eric. You know what's one of the craziest things is I see when you walk into Ann Arbor and there are just hundreds of people out playing Pokemon everywhere you look. Happens about a couple times a month, but you can always tell when it's Pokemon Day in Ann Arbor.
Hello, my name is Alex. The craziest thing in my life was I getting chased by a couple dogs and almost bit my leg off, which was kind of scary. Yeah, and I was almost crying. That was pretty scary, and mostly dogs scare me when they chase me. So that's my craziest thing. Bye. To the YMCA.
You're going to the YMCA, and what happened? Wait, make sure that they can hear you here. What did we see happen? What happened?
This truck went smack in the bridge.
A truck went smack into a bridge. And then what happened?
It made a big cloud come out.
A big cloud came out because it was a refrigerator truck, right?
Yeah.
And it went
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happened?
And then we had to go
around the block?
Around the block.
Then we had to go around the block. And what happened to that driver? What's he doing now?
Now he's just flying a car.
Now he's just driving a car, we think.
Little instrument.
and I danced to the band.
Hi, the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in Ann Arbor is every single time that I go to a Michigan University game, I always get free pizzas, no matter what the sport.
It was like a roller coaster, and when I was on the roller coaster, it was super fast, so my hair went back like Flash.
Hi, I'm Angela, and this is
Dahlia.
And the craziest thing that happened to us in Ann Arbor is being on TV.
So it's 2008. It's early in the football season. I'm in the marching band, and we're all lining up to do pregame, which if you've been to the football games, you've seen it. We've got the most physically demanding pregame in the country. I'm not just saying that for drama. I stand by it. So anyways, we're getting ready to march on the field, to run on the field. And they call it off, tweet, and we're running, we're storming onto the field, horns in the air, and this guy next to me, Nick the Don Gasparoni, not Don, the Don, goes down. He goes down. At first we're like, oh man, he's just exhausted, hot day, wow, okay, I'd go down too. He's not getting back up, and we're, what's going on? Nick found out on that day that he had a heart condition of some sort, I don't know. Anyways, technically, he died next to us on the field. Mitch, another guy in the section who was in the nursing school, went into action. If something ever happens to me, this is the guy I want to be next to. He went into life-saving mode. They probably graduated him from the program the next day for this. He saved Nick's life on the field there while we were waiting for the ambulance to show up. Nick the Don survived that ordeal, so he did die technically, but now he's alive again. And he even made it back onto the field by the end of the season for the Ohio State game. So there you go. Crazy Ann Arbor story.
My name's Amelia.
And the craziest thing that ever happened to you?
What was that?
How about going kayaking?
Going kayaking.
In Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor. My name is Dahlia, and the craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor is going on TV.
My name's David Domino, and last time I spoke on TV in front of a camera, I got arrested because there was bench warrants for me. Thank you very much.
I got woken by a skunk.
One time earlier in the summer, me and my friend were sitting on South University, and these kids who were at Michigan orientation came up and stole her crutches and started walking away, and we had to go get them from them, and they started laughing at us.
My name is Leonardo, and I was on a ride on my mom's bike, and the bike broke down, so I got stuck in Ann Arbor for a little while. Then it got fixed. My name is Valentino, and the weirdest thing happened to me that I stayed up all night.
Everything in life is a sad story. It's just a matter of perspective. Your perspective's always wrong, and because you're never seeing big picture enough. And in the end, it's all just sadness and what's the word? The dissipation of energy over time into like a natural state of everything.
My name is Hot, and then I'm going to.
Are you done?
Yeah.
That's the whole story? Good story. That was great, sweetie.
I won the napkin poster contest, and I didn't even think I even won it. My craziest thing was I won a hockey stick, and my mom said I would never win it.
So, hi, my name is Fatima Ali, and the craziest thing that has happened to me in Ann Arbor was I was about 5 years old, and I was swimming in my grandma's pool, and I tried to jump in. I didn't know how to swim. I tried to jump into the pool, and I intended to jump through the floaty, but instead I jumped, and I intended to jump through the floaty and float back up to the surface, but I jumped onto the side of the floaty and slipped off and started to drown. My mom jumped in and saved me, and my brother tried to save me, but he failed.
Hello, my name is John, and the craziest thing that has happened to me in Ann Arbor is, once I went into a pool. I jumped into the pool, and I got soaking wet. I swam around the pool. It was normal, and then
I don't know. I bumped it. I completely zoned out for a second and bumped my head into this thing, and it was kind of stuck in there. And it was pretty crazy because this was a pool. I don't think the worst thing that's happened there was that somebody probably got a cut, and my head was stuck in there for a pretty long time.
Hello, I'm DJ. The craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor, I was at least 4. I would like to play around with my brother. So my brother once, he had his phone on the couch. I took his phone, I ran out, and then I threw his, so we had like a porch. It was like high up in the air. And then, so I threw it down, and then it hit the grass, and then my brother was very mad.
My name is Luna, and the craziest thing that happened to me and my grandma was that my grandma accidentally poured hot boiling water over me. The craziest thing what happened to me is speaking on TV. Hello, my name is Amelia, and the craziest thing I've done in my life was singing in front of my whole school and people I haven't done, playing the recorder and singing with other classes.
What did you sing?
I sing Churn, Churn, Churn.
All right, my name is Nathan Johnson, and one of the craziest things that ever happened to me in Ann Arbor is I was out with my parents around when I was 10, maybe 10 or 11. And we had gone out to this big hippie celebration out in the middle of nowhere. There's all kinds of stuff. They were selling beads. There was a big carnival going on. And I went out to they had a big lake or something going on there. And I went out to the far shores, and as I was getting farther away from everybody, I found these little jellyfish everywhere. Little tiny jellyfish, like the size of my thumb. And so I was picking them up and moving them around. Not a very smart thing to do, I'll tell you, as a kid, picking up jellyfish. When I go back to mainland, I'm telling everybody, yo, there are jellyfish in the water. It's like, you're crazy, Nathan, there's no jellyfish in the water. Sure enough, I'm leading everybody out on expeditions, and there are just these hundreds of them. Little jellyfish everywhere on top of this water. So it becomes a huge event. Suddenly people who are lifeguards like, oh yeah, dude, there's always the jellyfish in the lake here. So that's my crazy story, and I survived, so that's something to say.
Melrose, and since I've been in Ann Arbor, it's so weird how the town is alive in the summer, but in the winter when it's all icy and cold, it's still crazy, and people just never quit.
Hi, my name is Mason. The craziest thing I've saw in Ann Arbor was feeding so many animals like chickens and other animals like llamas at the petting zoo.
The first time I was busking, I was playing guitar out in front of the cupcake station, and that night David Wilcox was in town at the Ark. And he came around the corner. I happened to be singing, and I said, "Excuse me, sir," and the two of us ended talking music, and he showed me how to play busk better on the streets of Ann Arbor. He's a fantastic musician, and that was one of the highlights of being here. But another time I was kayaking down the Huron River with a friend, and the two of us were just enjoying this beautiful day, and everything was so wonderful, when suddenly we saw these 2 trolls, adult-sized trolls, on the side of the river, and they were motioning us to come over to them. It turned out it was like the river trick or treat or something like that, where all of these people were dressed up, and we had no idea that was even going on. And that's usually what happens in Ann Arbor. You have no idea all the things that are going on.
Hey, my name is Kinks. I'm the lead singer in the band Tall Cool One, Robert Plant tribute, Led Zeppelin. I'm also the drummer in an Ann Arbor band called She-Bop. 3 girls singers up front, Chiffons, Ronettes, Supremes. So the craziest thing that's ever happened to me here in Ann Arbor is being on this TV thing right here. I mean, is that crazy or what? There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. The rest of it you have to catch at the show.
My name is Amaya. When I was 4 years, I got bitten by a groundhog and I needed to get rabies shots.
So I went to a party, got my face painted, went to the King Dad's garage band, and then all of a sudden we were drinking, and after that our face paint got smeared, and we looked like zombies, and our friend Thomas thought we were real zombies. And that's it. Jimmy Fry recording out. Have you seen the crocodile attack about the lady was drugging with her 2 dogs, and the crocodile jumped out and ate the lady, and they found the arm. On the first day, I went to the Fuller Pool. That day, I went down the water slide 50 times. Hi, I am Jimmy Fry. I went down a black diamond on accident at Shanty Creek. We thought it was a blue square, but it was a black diamond. After that, we drew pictures of us falling. It was really fun. After that, we got a chairlift, and then we started a different trail. The black diamond was crazy. My mom said we couldn't do it, but then we ended up doing it. Jimmy Fry recording out.
My name is Lewis, and the craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor is when my next door, like a couple doors down neighbor's house got on fire.
My name is Sahai, and I know this movie that I recommend to you guys. It's called The Greatest Showman, and it's very good. And I have a song that I know and I'm going to sing it. It's called This Is Me. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. One way to say no, to love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for you're glorious. When the sharp words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna sit in the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am proof, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
My name is Merrick, and my craziest story is I had 2 cuts in 2 days on the same finger.
And my name is Quinn, and the craziest thing that happened to me in Ann Arbor was when I was 5 and I was playing, and I went to pick up my violin from the tunist. So what happened was the guy who was tuning my violin, and it was somewhere around Liberty Heights. The guy gave me a tuba, someone else's tuba, instead of my violin. I was 5 or 6, so I didn't know what the case looked like. So I took it home to practice. I opened it, and it wasn't my violin. And the next day we had to go all the way back
because I got a tuba. Because I had gotten the tuba instead of my violin. And then the guy gave me my violin, and then I was sad. But then I found out it wasn't tuned. So I had to go back again. And finally they got it right. They tuned it, they gave it back to me.
Someone took someone's toy away.
Okay, my name is Sophie, and the craziest thing that ever happened to me in Ann Arbor was about 3 years ago, when I was walking to work. I was walking down, what street is it? Oh my God, I don't remember the street. It was near Main Street, and I was walking, and they were renovating the parking structure, and I was trying to zoom to work because I didn't want to be late, and it was really windy and kind of rainy, and I was walking. And I was walking below past the parking structure, and these two people were walking in front of me, and I was like trying to pass them, but I wasn't. I was like, okay, let me stay behind. I'm not trying to be rude. And a piece of plywood, like 6x4, just like falls off the top of the parking structure and hits them in front of me. And it missed me like by so close. And so, okay, this is the upsetting part. They were just like passed out on the ground because this plywood hit them, and I was like, oh my God. And these like dudes were in the street skateboarding, and they came over and like called the police, and we were like helping them. And the police came, and the ambulance came, and we had to wait the whole time and talk to the police. And they are okay now, and they like survived and stuff. But it was really bad, and it was crazy. But they were okay. I was late to work, but yeah, that's my story.
So my name is Daniel, and my crazy story here at Ann Arbor is the first time I've been here. I'm on a road trip on my way to move to Washington, D.C., and I come in and there's they described it as a crazy, townie, quirky tradition of a festival, and that's really cool. And supposedly, in every university you kind of have this bar that everybody goes, and they never remember they were there, but we all know that we're there. And we just had dinner there, and it was very awesome. Somebody next to us actually was surprised at what it looked like when the lights were on, so kind of tells you what kind of place you're dealing with. But that's my crazy Ann Arbor story.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and the craziest thing that happened to Crystal and I is that we were at Vets Park for the spectacular library event. Then we wanted to get the code on the bus, so we found a bus, and we got on the bus, and then we got off quickly, and I left my library book on the bus, and it's due. So we're hoping that somebody will see this and return my book.
Hi, my name is Abby, and my crazy story is basically when I was introduced to Minecraft. Its creator is Mojang. The idea was from Notch and Jeb. They're basically my favorite programmers because they have really good games. My name is Amog. I'm going to talk about Minecraft. Minecraft is a good game to play. The person who created it was Notch Cheb.
Hi, I'm Marina, and I just won tickets to Jake Shimbukuro's show. So yeah, that just happened. That's cool.
I'm Dan Ezekiel. One day I was downtown, and I set my bike aside for a minute to look at some books on a book rack, and a guy came up on a different bike and jumped off his bike and jumped on my bike and stole it. And I went chasing him down the street. That guy stole my bike, that guy stole my bike. But I was on foot and he was on a bike. And he doubled back around and he went past me again on East Liberty. And I'm chasing after behind him. That guy stole my bike. I didn't say guy. That guy stole my bike. And he had to stop because a bus was crossing at 5th Avenue. And I'm like 75 feet back. That guy stole my bike. That guy stole my bike. And next to him there's a pedestrian that has on a backpack with a metal frame. And he heard me yelling, and I see him exchange a few words with the guy that's on my bike, and he just takes off his backpack and flings it at the guy and knocks him down in the street. And the guy scuttled off, and I got my bike back.
Was thinking
was thinking that it was yesterday even though it was today.
Name is Arv, born and raised in Ann Arbor. One of the craziest things that's happened to me is I was just hanging out at my house, Old West Side, and next thing I know, some man is crashing his car into my cars, backing up, crashing into my cars again. He did it like 10 times, and then his car got stuck in the side hill. But if he wouldn't have got stuck, he would have crashed right through my house. That's the craziest thing that's happened to me in Ann Arbor.
The craziest thing that had happened to me in Ann Arbor was when I was younger and I went to this pond where there was rocks and the geese weren't there at that time. And also my name is Julia. The geese weren't there at that time. We were playing on the rocks and they decided to come over and say hello and honk, and we all started running and they started chasing us.